cut. What's the
Action.
action?
Oh.
Yeah, that's more filmmaker. Like yes, yes, yes. Okay.
Oh my god.
Hello. How are
Hi.
how are you?
I'm okay. I'm just at home most of the time.
Well, that's most
How
of
are you?
right
Yeah.
now. I'm great. Thank you for asking. So we're doing this for the second time. Um, because the first time the audio we had technical issues, let's just say that. And
Yeah.
well, here we are. Andy Nguyen, aspiring filmmaker. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I've been mostly doing photography growing up, so but like along the way I got into filmmaking and I got into the Ryerson film program. So I guess yeah, that's how I really got into filmmaking. I moved to Canada like uh, like 2 3 years ago, so or well, to Toronto at least. So I guess I'm pretty new, but I feel like I lived here my whole life
Mhm,
at the same time. And it has opened me to a lot of opportunities, I guess, in like photography and film.
mhm.
So yeah.
So you said you moved from Vietnam to
Yeah.
Toronto.
Yeah.
How do you think where you live influence what you do and how you approach your work? Like how has Toronto affected your work and your process of making film?
I do feel like it's really two whole different worlds. So living in Vietnam most of my life has really influenced like I guess me as a person and like my identity and how I want to always incorporate my culture and like stuff like that into my work. Like mostly with photography, I haven't been able to do that a lot with film, but I've it makes me want to make more projects that is about my country and rather than just like um stuff that is for I don't know like for Western audiences, but like I always try to find. I guess it always comes to my mind like that. I always try to find ways to incorporate something Vietnamese. And
That's great. Was there a particular event or time that you recognized filmmaking or even photography was not just a hobby, and this was something that you wanted to do?
I don't know. I feel like it's not really one particular event that was like, ooh, ooh, I want to do this. It's more like something that gradually grew. Like I guess my passion for it just gradually grew as I got older and growing up. Like when I got my first camera when I was 14 and I took a lot of photos and I just loved doing it, but I didn't think about being really a professional or anything, which I don't really know if I can call myself that now, but like it's it just kind of my love for it grew and I'm like, oh wait, hey, I could make this my job one day. I mean, so yeah,
You're doing
I guess.
amazing in making it your job and being a professional
No, I'm
filmmaker. Film-
I don't call myself professional because I don't make money out of it yet. So I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
you're going
Well,
to a
but
school.
aspiring.
Yeah, you're going
Yeah.
to school for it, and your film Heroes was selected for the TIFF Next Wave Film Festival this year. So
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could call yourself a professional now.
Oh my gosh.
But tell us more about the film that got selected for TIFF.
Um, well, at first it was just made for like a school assignment for Ryerson. It was like a documentary assignment. It was supposed to be all silent, so I just um yeah, it was for a silent film class, so yeah, it's all silent. And I would just my concept was wanting to just film my friends who are also trans and just showing just documenting them in their natural state as a cute little portrait documentary film. But yeah, then I asked my one of my trans friends that was also featured in the film to narrate it with some text that he wrote that really like touched me and like I related to it a lot and he's amazing, and like he made the film a lot better with his narration. So I added that after that assignment was done and submitted to TIFF, and that, yeah, I guess they they were like, "Hey, this got." They sent me an email one day that I thought was spam, so I almost deleted it. But then I saw it. I was like, "Hey, this is my name. That sounds like." Yeah. So they that just happened, and I was like, "Oh, okay." Yeah.
Tell us about how did it really feel when you opened the email from TIFF?
Literally just shocked, like shocked. That's it. I was happy, but it was mostly shocked because I felt like it was not real. Because I was like, no way did this just happen. Like out of like probably a bunch of films, they chose mine. So I was so grateful and like, happy, excited. I was like, because it's TIFF, and just to be a part of it, even if it was just a little part of it, is like crazy to me. Even though I just started film school and I'm like that happened, it's just I don't. That's I'm still in shock right now. So
It's very
yeah, it was
yeah,
nice.
but it's
Yeah,
still something. It's still
it's something.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still something for like aspiring filmmaker or anyone who's like just taking that first step on doing something that they
Mhm.
want. This is a huge deal. So like how do you think having like yeah, I guess like being successful and having a taste of success at such a young age will impact you?
Yeah, even though this is like like a not like a huge success, it's huge to me, and right now at least. So it makes me think a lot about how what else can happen in the future, maybe in like the next 10 years.
Mhm.
Like it makes me really excited what else I could what much more else I can do, what other stuff I can make, what other festivals I can get into. I don't know. But yeah.
This film that you made for which started as an assignment for school but later got
Yeah.
featured in TIFF, and I want to emphasize that a lot. But this focuses on trans experience, right? Like
Yeah.
people from Toronto, trans people from Toronto. Do you think filmmakers have any responsibility to, you know, shed light on issues like that, like experiences of people who are like whose like voices mainstream media does not like give a chance to?
There's a lot to say about this, but it depends on the filmmakers too, like if they are trans or not, or if they understand the trans experience correctly. Because a lot of people don't, and they do portray trans people in the media very negatively and poorly, and a lot of times we're like the butt of the joke, or we're and like things like that is what kind of makes it dangerous for us in the real world. So having trans filmmakers share their own experiences is like really important, I think, and I'm glad I could be one of them, even if it's just a little bit. So yeah, it's I think especially for trans people and even other like minorities, if we could tell our own story in like an authentic way that like doesn't like makes it like dangerous for us, or
Mhm.
like doesn't negatively that doesn't make people see us in a negative way, is really important. Because yeah, especially with like, or even like shows like Euphoria with Hunter Schafer.
Yeah,
That's the example. She was great, and that's one of like a really good example. But there's a lot of others that have been portrayed really badly, and yeah.
I feel like with a lot of movies that are like giving trans people or like people from LGBTQ community a voice, they're often like cast as a side role rather than a main role. With Euphoria, there's a little bit difference because we hear like
Yeah.
all parts of the story. Like yes,
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. First, say Netflix Sex Education, for example. You know,
Hmm.
the side character like always some like here's my problem with like films who are trying to represent the LGBTQ community or any minor community. they don't care, they don't like put like them as the main focus of the story. It's always like a white
Yeah.
person, and then their sidekick is always someone like black or brown or any other like community
Yeah.
members. We don't really see them as the main character. So like, what do you have to say about that, and how do you think film industry can change that?
Um, yeah, I do agree with all that. I don't watch a lot of Netflix, but I know that a lot of like movies even today, but I think it's a little getting a little better today with like mainstream movies at least that a lot of movies are not just with queer people, but yeah, but with like the main character is always white or it's centered around a white person. And even if like um or even if it's like a main character that's a person of color, it feels with like Netflix and mainstream stuff, it feels whitewashed. Like with To All the Boys I've loved
Yeah,
before too. Like that movie, you know. Um I feel like with that movie, even though it's like an Asian person, I feel like yeah, it's super whitewashed. I wish I could have known like seen more about her culture and stuff because I know the actress is Vietnamese, so I was excited, but it just yeah. Um there's a lot to say about this. Not a lot is coming to my head right now, but or even with like the Big Bang Theory, do you know what the only like brown character, like one of the main characters, and like and he has a really thick accent even though he's lived in America for a long time.
yeah.
I think maybe
Oh
grew
yeah,
up there
yeah,
too, or I don't know.
yeah.
But like yeah, it's stuff like that. It's very stereotypical towards like minorities, and it's just and like it's just whitewash, and it's just yeah.
I mean, I guess you could say that they're trying to represent. Yeah, we appreciate that, but
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of room for better representation. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like Big Bang Theory and this other Netflix show called Never Have I Ever Before. Never Have I Ever.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know much
one
about
too.
it.
Like, there were a lot of stigma around having the show being very like stereotypical, and like
Mm.
do you think as a filmmaker or just like a creative person, do you think you have any responsibility to like culture, like showcasing culture?
Um, I guess I don't know if I'm making like something about someone else's culture
Mhm.
that's not mine. I feel like I should be giving them a voice and to represent theirs as um their own culture as like and not just and it's not just me like trying to like not knowing and not experiencing this culture my whole life and just like doing it from my perspective feels wrong because I'm not like from that culture. And I feel like that's a thing a lot of white filmmakers just do because they don't really yeah they don't really seem to care. We're just some other we're just yeah
Like Mother and Marie, like
I haven't seen
that's
that too.
that's a great like approach to, I guess, like representing minors, right? But like
Minors. Yeah.
it was written by a white person, like it was directed by a white person. So like
Yeah,
I don't like, I feel like that affects, that plays a lot of role in how the movie will turn out, and how the
absolutely.
voices are like, so how the voices are represented. And do you feel that being a creative person requires that you give or tell a particular story, or not do like something else, like something like very basic? Like, do you always feel like your films have to have meaning behind them, or like you need, because you identify as a part, you identify yourself as a part of the LGBTQ community, do you think you always have to like make that kind of movies?
It depends. Like I don't always have to. It's just gonna be what comes to mind, I guess. But it definitely is something I want to do more, and I definitely will, and
Mhm.
I have done before, and I feel comfortable doing it. So yeah. Um, but obviously, not every film that I might make in the future have to be it. Like yeah,
How do you keep your ideas fresh? Like, what do you do to keep your ideas fresh? Like, is there
my
anything
ideas.
I can do that? is there anything you can do to keep your like ideas original? Like, do you do
Mm.
anything else to just because I think we've talked about this previously. Like, there's always, if you want to do something, someone has already done it, right? Like,
Yeah.
so how in your creative mind, how do you keep like your ideas fresh, and how do you approach things from a new lens or like new perspective?
Hmm. Yeah, good question. Yeah, even though I feel like most things have been, or all things have been done before, because we're all like such different people and with different experiences, that's what's gonna make everyone kind of different. So, and especially with me wanting to like showcase more of the trans experience and my own experience and like feelings into my movies, that's what's gonna make it different. But most of the time I'd like take inspiration from a lot of like small things, like small inspiration, and just like incorporate it into my own thing. So I might like something small from a small thing from this one movie and something else from this movie, and I just put it into one, I guess, into my own little thing.
Let's talk about your process for making the film Heroes. Like, how was that process?
We had. I feel like we had like two. I think we had 2 weeks to think of an idea and to like pitch to the class, and yeah, I just did that, and then I rented out that huge camera from my school, um, and I had 3 days of filming, which normally people would do one, but I'm insane and I did three, and because I met with different people each day, so it's safer, and also in different locations. So yeah, it was really fun because it was nice to meet some of my friends again because I haven't seen a lot of them in a while because of the pandemic. And it was just mostly a fun time, the whole process of filming. So um, yeah, it was just other than it was also like scary because it's uh like a film camera. It's all like a manual film camera, so like you can't see your footage until after it's developed, and it was like so expensive for school. But a lot of it was scary to like hope like just like to know if I got the lighting right or not, and it was like, oh no, is it gonna turn all black? So, but it turned out well at the end, and I edited the video in like I think a day before it's due. um and yeah, and then after that assignment I kind of extended that video to make it longer because um it was just like a minute I think for the actual assignment, but yeah.
How are you looking forward to like approach the film industry?
I'm not sure because I do feel like I'm still learning and I don't know, and honestly I'm not sure if I will like become like big into it like in the film industry at least because I don't know. My mind's kind of been all over the place because I like doing photography and film, so I'm not sure. But if I do get into the film industry, I would like to like especially make more films about the trans experience and just like um I guess like in Euphoria, Hunter Schafer, that's like a really good representation. So just like to make more like be a part of the process of like trans representation in media is and like it's like that's what I want to do. Okay.
What inspires you, or who inspires you to like create
Mm,
movies? Like, what? How did your love for movies get sparked?
mm, okay. I don't know. I don't know. I grew up watching a lot of movies and I just kind of loved it. But recently I've been watching a lot, especially in like since quarantine. I've been watching a lot more and going into film school as well. One of my favorite directors is Gregor Rocky, who's like he's a queer Japanese American director, and he has made a lot of movies that I really liked, and I really like his style. And it's just he represents a lot of the queer community in mostly in 90s and like 2000s America, which and yeah, he's one of my big inspirations. Another director I also really like is Wong Kar-wai, especially with his cinematography, and I think with his cinematography is something I really like see myself like he has this the cinematography and like the visuals in his movies have impacted me a lot in my photography and films, I think.
How would you
Yeah.
say so? Like how do you think they have like impacted your work?
Um, I don't know, because like a lot of people, like you see something and you're like, whoa, that is
Yeah.
so awesome. I love it. That's how I feel with like when I watch their movies and like especially with Greg Araki. I don't know, he just because him as like also an Asian gay American person,
Mm-hmm.
like I kind of like I feel like I do connect with him in that sort of way and like just him like he's I don't know, he's kind of my role model. um yeah, and I want to make movies like his but about more about trans people.
Mm-hmm. Is it harder to get started or to keep going? Like, what do you think?
Hmm. In my opinion, I think get started because when I first started, I had just like I guess first started, I had so much. I was young. I had so much doubt, and it's just so easy to give up too because you just can, and it's like not
Yeah,
that big of a deal,
yeah.
and it's so hard to keep going when you're just starting out too. So yeah, I guess it just depends on you got to find something you're really passionate about so you keep going, and right now after all that I feel like it is easier to keep going like after a while because like now that you have more experience, you have more knowledge, you feel much more like especially confident. So confidence is a huge thing. Then like when I first started, I'm like it was just like no confidence, just like doubt all the time, and it's yeah, I
Like
guess.
you talk about self doubt and confidence, and what did you do to like acquire that, gain that confidence or self doubt? I mean, get over your self-doubt. Get
I'm
like over like yeah. What did you do to like get over your self doubt and gain more confidence?
I
Like
don't think I have like gotten over it completely. Like I still like just from time to time I still feel it a lot, but it like over time it just like confidence just kind of grows a little bit through like the positive things about your work. Like even when you like talk like just from getting more experience and like learning and growing, that's just kind of how it builds and just like yeah, it just builds as like you get more experience, I think, and like especially positive experiences, um as well as having fun while you make your craft, and that's like then you'll just get there as long as you have fun.
if there is one more thing you think would make the film industry better, what would it be? What do you think it would be?
One thing, hmm, less white people on top.
Yeah,
They've done too much
yeah.
handed down to us. Yeah,
That's it, and nothing else.
I guess that's a lot, but yeah.
What do you think is the hardest part of the filmmaking process?
Oh, the process of it?
Yeah, just like just filmmaking in general.
I
Like,
guess like because it's such a competitive industry, it feels hard to get in and out. Even though I go to film school, it feels like it's not helping as much as I wanted to. So you kind of just have to do a lot of work on your own, which for me, I don't really know what to do, like, especially in the pandemic, because I can't go like help out on sets and stuff. So I'm just kind of submitting to any festival I can find, I guess. And TIFF is one of them. So yeah, just like getting your work out there and like I don't know, getting hired and stuff like that is so feels hard. But maybe I'm just saying this because I'm still young and so. But yeah, I guess the process too is, I guess planning. I just like to shoot it and edit and get it done, but like planning and like it's hard to find like ideas and stuff. But yeah, like in writing, I'm not that great of a writer, so.
yeah, no, I guess like I mean we I mean you have not been. to the, like, you have not gotten to the process where you have to like cast models and spend like your
Oh no.
own money directing the film, because right now,
Oh
like for
no.
equipment and stuff, like it's all, I guess, like you're using your like university is providing you with like equipments and stuff, right? So I guess
I
there's
know.
also an aspect of like budgeting, for like filmmaking, where while you're on your own, and while like for the time being where you're not like super famous and have a lot of money, so like for
Yeah.
like now, like right now, how are you approaching like casting, in terms of casting,
Um,
like how are you approaching that?
I don't know if I really thought about it a lot about casting. Because for my past stuff, I just kind of use my friends.
Yeah.
But I think maybe in the future after the pandemic, when I don't have to use people just close to me, and if I have to use actual actors, I guess I'll look into like the acting people in the acting program and stuff like that. But I haven't really thought about like actual actors. Going back to the other question, yeah, like casting and like directing is really hard for me, especially when I have to tell other people to do because I don't like it, and especially if I have like having social anxiety. It's like it makes things really hard for me. So if I'm just filming my friends, it's so much more comfortable. So I haven't really thought about like real actors, so that kind of scares me because I'm so bad at like telling people what to do if it's like someone I'm not close to. Yeah. hmm So that's something I want to like get better at, just like talking to people.
Why? What would you want your legacy to be like far in the future if you end up if you end up being a filmmaker for like reels, like, because you never know where life is gonna take you, right? We're like starting,
Yeah.
we're still young, we're still starting, and well, there's no guarantee that I will still be a journalist and you will still be a filmmaker. But
Yeah.
if we do end up being a filmmaker or a journalist, how would you want your legacy to end, or like what kind of legacy would you like to leave behind?
Um. That's a deep question, but and I feel like my answer right now, could change in like a couple months or couple years too. But I guess because right now, because I'm also young and I kind of just got out of, I guess, teenhood, adolescence. I just got out of, I guess, like high school and like being like
Yeah.
under 18. I want, especially with my little heroes, I really want my films to like impact positively on trans people. So when they watch it, especially with younger trans kids, I feel like I want to make films that would have made me feel comfort and smile when I was like 14, when I was struggling with like my identity and stuff. I want to make stuff that would feel like, for other kids that are growing up being trans and having like a lot of hardships, I want them to feel when they watch it. I want like to smile and just like, yeah, feel comfort in it and just feel like someone understands them. And
Mhm.
like seeing themselves on screen too is also so important. And like when they see that, that's like, and they just, and they finally see someone that looks like them, someone that like, yeah, I feel like that's important. Like, so if I get to do that, then I guess that's my legacy.
Thank you for being on the show. We have Andy Nguyen, the next big film star for
Oh
like
my
that
god.
you could say. And I want to congratulate you on getting your film getting selected for TIFF this year.
Thank
And
you.
I hope you keep on making wonderful films, and I really want to see your talent like flourish in the upcoming work
Oh,
you do. And I've said this to you a lot of times before. I really, really do enjoy like your work, and even with like photography and filmmaking, especially. Um, I really do enjoy it, and it's really like
thank you.
lovely, like the way you edit, and the like your style is what I'm trying to say is very, very beautiful, and the things you do are very beautiful. Your ideas are very inspiring to me as well, and so
Thank
thank you
you.
for giving the
That's so sweet.
no.
I'm honored to be here. You like a podcast. That's crazy.
Thank you for sharing your talents is what I'm
Oh,
trying to get at.
thank you.
and thank you for doing this again for the second time.
Yeah.
And
I hopefully this time is a lot better.
yeah, I hope so too. I have to see. I think it's gonna be a lot more better than the first.
Awesome. Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add?
Um, stay awesome, guys. I don't know. I'm so awkward. Oh my gosh.
Hey, that was great. Okay. Nice.